We're here because free speech is under attack. We're here because people are being convinced that socialism works. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth.
Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin. The current situation with Russia has put a spotlight on the need to reduce the world's dependency on Russian oil and gas. While the focus has been on solar and wind, both of these have major drawbacks and security risks that are being ignored. Neither provides a consistent stream of energy, so they must be supplemented either by fossil fuels or by being augmented with batteries. The materials to make the solar panels and the batteries are controlled by China, which is where the security issues come in. Any serious effort to reduce the dependency on foreign oil must include nuclear energy. Academics from Yale and MIT have been supporting a push for more nuclear power. Anti-nuclear activists have been spreading fear for decades, so let's look at the raw, naked truth behind nuclear power. Like all energy sources, nuclear power has advantages and disadvantages. So what are nuclear power's benefits? First and foremost, since it produces energy via nuclear fission rather than chemical burning, it generates baseload energy with no output of carbon. That villainous environmental boogeyman that is the cause of global warming. Switching from coal to natural gas is a step toward decarbonizing, since burning natural gas produces about half the carbon dioxide of burning coal. But switching from coal to nuclear power is radically decarbonizing, since nuclear power plants release greenhouse gases only from the ancillary use of fossil fuels during their construction, mining, fuel processing, maintenance, and decommissioning, about as much as solar power does, which is 4 to 5% as much as a natural gas-fired power plant. Second, nuclear power plants operate at much higher capacity factors than renewable energy sources or fossil fuels. Capacity factor is a measure of what percentage of the time a power plant actually produces energy. It's a problem for all intermittent energy sources. The sun doesn't always shine, the wind doesn't always blow, and water doesn't always fall through the turbines of a dam. In the United States in 2016, nuclear power plants, which generated almost 20% of U.S. electricity at the time, had an average capacity factor of 92.3%, meaning they operated at full power on 336 out of 365 days per year. The other 29 days, they were taken off the grid for maintenance. In contrast, U.S. hydroelectric systems delivered power 38.2% of the time, about 138 days per year. Wind turbines operated at 34.5% of the time, about 127 days per year, and solar electricity arrays only worked 25.1% of the time, 92 days per year. Even plants powered with coal or natural gas only generate electricity about half the time for reasons such as fuel costs and seasonal and nocturnal variations in demand. Nuclear is a clear winner on reliability. Third, nuclear power releases less radiation into the environment than any other major energy source. This statement will seem paradoxical to many people, since it's not commonly known that non-nuclear energy sources release any radiation into the environment. But they do. The worst offender is coal, a mineral of the Earth's crust that consists of a substantial volume of the radioactive elements uranium and thorium. burning coal gas fires its materials, concentrating its mineral components into the remaining waste, called fly ash. So much coal is burned in the world, and so much fly ash produced, that coal is actually the major source of radioactive releases into the environment. Opponents of nuclear power have always tried to make people fear it as unsafe. The partial meltdown of the 3 Mile Island reactor in March 1979, while a disaster for the owners of the Pennsylvania plant, released only a minimal quantity of radiation to the surrounding population. According to the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission, the approximately 2 million people around 3 Mile Island during the accident are estimated to have received an average radiation dose of only about 1 millirem above the usual background dose. To put this into context, exposure from a chest X-ray is about 6 millirem, and the area's natural radioactive background dose is about 100 to 125 millirem per year. In spite of serious damage to the reactor, the actual release had negligible effects on the physical health of individuals or the environment. While the accidents at Chernobyl and in Japan were more dangerous, these were both in facilities constructed approximately 50 years ago. The technology has progressed quite a bit since then. Not only are modern plants safer, they produce more energy and are much smaller. Anti-nuclear fear-mongering has proved baseless. The French have recycled nuclear waste into fuel for over 30 years without incident. Upon its removal from French reactors, used fuel is packed in containers and safely shipped via train and road to a facility in La Hague. There, the energy-producing uranium and plutonium are removed and separated from the other waste and made into new fuel that can be used again. The entire process adds about 6% in costs for the French. More efficient and reliable than solar and wind, cleaner than oil and coal, it's time we take another look at a nuclear-powered future. That's the raw naked truth. If you have a topic you'd like us to look into, you can contact us at xvadio.com/connect. You can hear every episode of The Raw Naked Truth as well as the rest of the Xvadio Podcast Network at xvadio.com/podcasts, the Apple Podcasts app, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Audible, and wherever you find podcasts. We'll see you next time.